Okay, today is May 21st, and I received my Ashton Drake Orangutan. I think it's Momoko, we're going to find out. But I told you, I got Annabelle Hugs about 3 days ago, and I told you I was going to do a comparison video when I received this one. I wanted to see what the differences were in them. So I'm going to open this box up real quick. This box is, excuse me, it's about 13 inches high and about 12 inches wide there. So it's, maybe just a tiny bit smaller than the other box that Annabelle was in. So I'm anxious to see the size of this one. So I'm going to put it on pause and open it up. Okay, so I got it opened up. She's used, so it's not like in a new Ashton Drake box. She's got some styrofoam there. And there she is. Let me get her stretched out here. Oh, she's very cute. My first impression is that maybe she is not quite as big as Annabelle Hugs, but this is not her original dress. It's just what she came in. I don't know if I can get this in the picture or not, but she's measuring oh, if you pull her leg out, it's 22, so that's what the seller said. So let me take a look. I don't believe that her hands are as big. Of course, Annabelle Hugs has huge hands, and I don't believe her head is as big either. But actually, it looks better in person than it did in the pictures. Looks like she's a little different as far as her armature. Here, I'm going to take the clothes off of both of them, and so you can see. I'll put it on pause here. The dress that she had on was a 6-month size, and it has the little pants, which is too big, but you know, she is a good size anyway. Okay, I've got the clothes off of each of them, and it's hard to get them both in the picture because they're so large, but the cloth bodies are different styled. Well, let's do Annabelle's first because we covered that in the other video. She has a it's a jointed, kind of like a reborn body, but it's the material's not the same. It's not doe suede. And her armature is wire, and it's just in her arms. You can bend her arms, and it's in her legs, but it's not up in the body. So the wire's in the legs and the arms, and you can bend them, and the wire will keep it how you bend it. So Momoko is different. Her body is more the style of the old vintage dolls. I don't know what you call it, but there's no joint. And her armature, it's not wire, it's the plastic, I don't know what it's called, but it bends. It's like jointed plastic pieces, and it bends, and it goes all the way into her cloth body, from arm to arm, so that she actually has more posing, and then her legs are the same way. The armature goes all the way down into the cloth body and over, and you can bend it. It bends really easy, but then she's not going to have free movement because that armature is in there. Excuse me. So let's look at the heads here. Annabelle's head is definitely larger. As you can see, Momoko has blue eyes and Annabelle has brown eyes, and we're going to touch on that in just a bit. I actually think the painting on Momoko is more realistic. So let's just take a look at her for a minute. The head is hard. It's probably got a form in it. It's about the same hardness as Annabelle's, and I forgot to touch in the other video about Annabelle that all the hair is glued on. It's not rooted. So it's got the orangutan style ears. We talked about that in the other video, how chimps' ears are different. Annabelle's got the same style. Okay, now let's look at the hands. Well, first of all, the vinyl is a little different. It's soft. Well, it's pretty much the same. Maybe it's because Annabelle's arms are wider that it seems like it's softer. And this has a wider armature in it, so the vinyl's soft. I'm sure it's truly real vinyl. And let's compare the hands here. If I can get them in the picture there. If you look at this is Annabelle's hand, and this is Momoko's. And you can see that Annabelle's hand is larger. Definitely. And this one, you know, larger hand. Oops. And the feet, same deal. Not as much difference in the feet. But I always thought Annabelle's hands were maybe a little bit larger than they should be, but maybe that's true to life. I'm not sure. So the feet, the vinyl soft. I'm thinking maybe the vinyl on Momoko is just a tiny bit firmer, but if you look at just the cloth bodies, I think they're very similar in size. To me, looks like they're, although they're a different style body, the bodies I think are similar in size. And like I said, the length of the two are very close to being the same. They both extend out to 22 inches. I thought when I was looking at Momoko's online that the head was smaller than the Annabelle, which probably isn't as realistic as far as size, actual size of orangutans, but she is very cute. So and like Annabelle, the armature does not extend down into the hands, the fingers, so the fingers are not posable. You can bend them, but they're not going to hold the pose like that. And hers too. There's no wire or armature in the hands or the feet. Now I did want to touch on the fact that she has blue eyes. You can see there, they're blue. And I kind of was wondering about the authenticity of that. I know that I've searched pictures of chimpanzees, and they can have blue eyes. So I knew that was a fact. But as far as the orangutans, I had never searched that before, and I could not come up with images of orangutans having blue eyes except for one, just one. And there are albino chimpanzees, but an albino, the only orangutan that I could come up with that had blue eyes was an albino orangutan. They named her Alba, and she was taken, the word Alba is taken from the Latin word for white, and she's the world's only known albino orangutan, rescued on the Indonesia part of Borneo Island, where villagers were keeping the white-haired, blue-eyed creature in a cage. She was estimated to be about 5 years old. The Borneo Orangutan Survival Foundation said they had never taken in such an orangutan in its 25 years of history. The only albino orangutan ever recorded. She was released in 2018 while she was rescued and rehabilitated, and released in 2018 into her own personal island sanctuary in Borneo to live out the rest of her days safely tucked away from the humans who may want to do her harm. Orangutans are endangered creatures, but Alba's rare genetic disorder makes her truly a one of a kind. 8. The other orangutans accepted her just fine. So, it was the world's only known albino orangutan, and I could not find any images of any other orangutans, and definitely not any brown ones with the blue eyes. So, this would probably just be in our dolly world. They are pretty, and it is nice to imagine that they could have blue eyes like that. But the fact is that there was only one that they have known of, and that's, I would need to fact check that more, but that's what I could come up with. So, now I had mentioned in my other video that I possibly wanted to make Annabelle a girl, keep her a girl, and make Momoko a boy. And I think I am pretty comfortable with that, I think. And I possibly wanted them to be twins, which I guess that would be acceptable too, because they wouldn't be identical, even if they were twins, because one's a boy and one's a female, obviously. So, and they're very close to the same size, although Momoko would be a little smaller featured. So, thinking about that, they could at least be brother or sister. So, I'm not going to take the time to dress them in this video because I just got Momoko and I haven't really had a chance to go through clothes and find what's gonna really look well on them. But we will come back in another video in the next couple of days, and we will dress them and see what we come up with there. So I hope that this has helped you. I'm having trouble thinking of anything else that you would want to know as far as the features and information about them. One thing about the Momoko is you can't find them through Ashton at this time. So if you wanted one, you would have to find one that came up on eBay or somewhere else. But make sure that you buy from someone you know, don't get scammed. You would have to find one used, unless Ashton Drake's puts them back up for sale on their site. So I'm glad I got one. And oh, his head turns. Yep, his head turns. Annabelle's head, no, but I could probably loosen the cable tie and her head would turn too. In fact, I'm going to remove some of the stuffing to make her a little more not so stiff. So anyway, we'll come back with dressing them, and until then, bye bye.